Yo, 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 this is Sol, also known as Spielgum, also known as Spatialgum, also known as Grunt, the artist Team Skull Grunt, and this is Pokemon Masters EX, where I come up with a very short video for you guys before the scouting. Yes, Sygna Hilda is coming in an hour, but, I just figured I'd get this video out, so with that, you might be wondering, should you scout for her or not with the amount of fire-type sync pairs that we have already? And, we have a lot of sync pairs in the Unova arc. We have Sygna Hilda, we have Sygna Hilbert, we have Sygna N, we have Hugh, and we have Colress, and we have the Evolutions, which are limited units. Is another fire-type necessary? Well, if you want an in-depth or a quick analysis of each one, you can check out my November 2022 sync pairs who to scout for video first. But in this video, we just discuss her. And as you might see over here, she has 3 different attacks. She has Searing Shot, which hits everyone. She has Confusion, which hits one opponent with a little bit weak psychic damage. She has V-Create, which hits one opponent with a strong fire-type attack. So, Searing Shot is a 4-move gauge attack. V-Create is a 4-move gauge attack. Searing Shot, 30% chance of leaving the opponent burned. Versus Sygna Red's, I think 10% chance of leaving the target burned with Heat Wave. But then, you are talking about a 4-move gauge attack instead of a 3-move gauge attack. The good thing about this one is that when you run out of move gauge, you have Confusion, just 1 move gauge, you can just use this to spend a turn, to pass a turn because it's cheap in terms of move gauge management. You have V-Create over here, which can raise your stats. You can raise your defense, your special defense, and speed, which, not a lot of strikers can actually do that. And interestingly, the other Hilda, Cosplay Hilda, can also buff her own defenses with Diamond Storm. This one can buff her defense, her special defense, and speed. Normally, it lowers the stats, but because of her passive skill Downside Up, it goes up instead of going down. You have Fierce Entry 6 at the start of the battle, you immediately get +6 attack stat. And by using the trainer move for the win, you get to maximize your critical hit rate as well as maximize your special attack. If this is your first, thing and the opponent has not lowered your attack stat. Also, it erases everyone's accuracy, which is good. And basically, the debate here is the other passive skill that she has, Recharging Strike 9. People were wondering, Searing Shot hits every single opponent. Does your move gauge charge up by 3 instead of by 1? Well, it says here multi-strike effect tag charges the user's move gauge per hit. Searing Shot is not a multi-strike move. Not like, whatchamacallit, Urshifu's rapid water style, whatever, I forgot the move called. I am guessing that you only recover 1 move gauge and not 3 move gauges for Searing Shot, even though it hits 3 opponents, but then it's just 1 attack and it's not a multi-strike effect. So it's basically like a move gauge refresh 9, but again, I might be wrong and she's coming out soon, so you can just check out my showcase video for this. But the good thing about this one is instant +6 attack stat, instant +6 critical hit rate, instant +6 special attack, and you do raise your accuracy stat as well. And if you run out of move gauge, you can just use Confusion, very quickly use an attack to pass your turn. Plus, you can also buff your own defense, your own special defense, and buff your own speed. One of the better things also about her is that her stats start at 502 at level 140. So you do not need any mega evolution to happen, unlike Sygna Red, who needs one turn, one sync move to mega evolve. This one immediately very high stats. In fact, her own speed stat is not low at all. You just use V create 6 times to maximize your own defense, special defense, and speed. If you do not have a support sync pair, HP on the low side, but then if you decide to make her 150 and 6-star EX, that will become much higher than that. So 700 plus HP. So that's good. So yeah, that's basically Sygna Hilda. Again, I'm going to pass through the sync move things or sync things. 1 out of 5, you don't get anything interesting except those. 2 out of 5, you get 1 burn synergy 1. If the opponent is burned, again, there's a high chance of burning the opponent 30% by using Searing Shot, and it also hits everyone. For the win, gives you an MP refresh as well as a regen effect for this one. 3 out of 5, you can get to confuse the opponent. If the opponent's confused, stronger damage. You get Rising Tide and Scorching Sync 5, 2 Sync Nuke multipliers. Rising Tide, one of the better ones. You can maximize your stats very quickly using her. Again, just use For the Win. You plus 12 immediately for your stats. Actually, I think it's plus 18. Plus 6 attack, plus 6 special attack, plus 3 critical hit rate, that's 15, plus 16, plus 1 accuracy stat. And I think Rising Tide caps at plus 21 stats. So just use V Create and you maximize your Rising Tide multiplier. Scorching Sync if the opponent is burned, stronger damage. And then you get Super Sync 9, which gives you a super effective up next effect. And you can save this, if you want to use your next sync move to maximum damage if the opponent is weak to fire, then sync with her first time, and then just use Confusion. You're just hitting the opponent with a not super very effective psychic type attack. And then your super effective fire type move will be saved for the next sync move, and that will deal devastating damage. So, as a Pokefair unit, now you have a 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 grids. 4 out of 5 just gives you a higher chance of burning the opponent, as well as raises everyone's accuracy stat even more if you attack the opponent, either using Confusion or Searing Shot or V Create. 5 out of 5, you get a Propulsion 9 for your For the Win trainer move, as well as Sundering Burn 9. What this does is if the opponent is burned, you get to lower their defense or special defense or both when you attack them. So by using Searing Shot, you might be able to lower everyone's defense and special defense with one hit. So that makes your attacks even stronger. But again, this also works with Confusion and V Create. So V Create, for example, you get to increase your defense and special defense and speed. Meanwhile, you lower the opponent's defense / special defense, or both for this one. So that's Sygna Hilda and Victini. And for the sync grid, now we look over here very quickly. I don't have anything prepared in advance. So this is assuming we have all the grid tiles activated. Let's reset this. Let's try 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5, we can actually get around everything. Yes, you can get everything at 1 out of 5. At 2 out of 5, we want the multipliers first. So multiplier, we have, what multiplier do we have? I think Burn Synergy is there. So we get Burn Synergy. Probably we get a Searing Shot Move Gauge Refresh 2 if we want to do this. We get a Trainer Move MP Refresh 2. Not really important for this one. Let's get Hit and Heal. Let's probably get V Create Move Gauge Refresh 2. Probably a Special Attack plus 10. I don't know. Searing Shot. There you go. You got a lot of tiles. No problem. Filled up the important things at 2 out of 5. Let's reset this. 3 out of 5, you get the multipliers. So definitely I'm going for Rising Tide and Scorching Sync 5. So let's try and do that. So over here, and over at the bottom, we got Super Sync and Scorching Sync 5. We got the important ones. Now if we can get the tiles that we need, so probably a Sync move power plus 25 and just something else. Probably a searing shot, power +2. That's your 3 out of 5 grid, multipliers first, in my humble opinion. 4 out of 5. Let's just reset this again and see. We got hostile environment and team precision strike 9. I am not sure if those are necessary, but let me see. I mean, rising tide is definitely a must here. Probably a searing shot, super duper effective 3. I want the scorching sink though. I mean, if I will... Oh boy, this is where problems come in, guys. If we get the hostile environment 3, we will not be able to get... Right, this is 10 energy. So if I get this instead, I get this, or I get this, it's -1. See, DNA has to do something about 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5. It is completely stupid. They're so hard to get. At the same time, it's... No comment. You know what I mean, guys. So, let's try the 5 out of 5 grid. We got a Sundering Burn over here. Definitely need to get that Rising Tide. So, and I want to get the Scorching Sting, and it's impossible again. What the heck? So if I remove this, I get this instead. It's impossible. Again, this is just a very, very quick trial. I mean, if we spend more time analyze this, probably it's possible to get these important tiles. But right now, I feel it's impossible to get the important tiles here. So, unless DNA does something with the 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5 tiles, it's very impractical for those things. So, that's that. And now, again, the timeline is this one. Everyone ends on December 2. Sygna Hilda comes out later, followed by 2 days after, we got Sygna Hilbert, and so on and so forth. And in terms of the stats, again, Sygna Hilda has the highest attack, special attack, and speed. Meanwhile, the lowest HP defense and special defense. But then very, very strong. And in terms of the multipliers here, well, a lot of multipliers. In terms of the sync move multipliers, Sygna Hilbert has way more. But, we have just checked Sygna Hilda. 3 out of 5, you can get every sync move multiplier. 4 out of 5 and 5 out of 5, very questionable. I had a hard time getting both Rising Tide and Scorching Sink 5. Super effective up next. Yes, we can ignore that. But Scorching Sink 5 and Rising Tide is something that I want to get together. So, 5 out of 5, I think it was technically impossible. Or is it possible? Let me know if you are able to get something like that. But now for the biggest question, since, well, I have no other slides. Biggest question is... how does she compare with the other fire types? And for that, I want to thank Jack for helping me with the computations because I did not have time to do that. And this is how, how we did the computations. It's kind of not... Some of these numbers are impossible unless you're able to fulfill certain conditions. But if we check over here at the bottom with Sygna Hilda, we can see that she has the highest DPS at 4,935,621. Meanwhile, the fourth strongest sync nuke in this group, the strongest is Sygna May, a texting pair. The second is Anniversary N. The third is Lucas. Wait a minute. Why the heck is Lucas here? Is this Lucas and Flareon or something? I have no idea. I have to recheck this. But yeah, basically, she has over here the strongest DPS, as well as probably the strongest striker sync nuke out there. And you know, striker sync nuke is very good because you get to hit everyone instead of just one opponent. So let's compare her with Sygna Suit Red over here. Sygna Suit Red over here, 4th place with 4,401,000. It's kind of far from this one, I guess. But then everyone should have a super effective up next here. Sygna Suit Red cannot give himself super effective up next. And have to have Sunny Day. Yes, other stuff has to kind of put it there. But then Sygna Suit Red, if we check the nuke damage, it pales in comparison. We have 15 million for Sygna Suit Hilda. Meanwhile, Sygna Suit Red only has 8 million over here. And this requires Sun as well with Solar Flare 5, as well as Haymaker. And you know how difficult Haymaker is to trigger with Sygna Suit Red? You have to save up your My Destiny Trainer move after Sygna Suit Red's sync move. Because that's the only way you get to raise your attack stat. After using his trainer move after Mega Evolution. And the more often you use the trainer move, you get to lower your defenses. Meanwhile, Sygna Suit Hilda's trainer move does not have any side effects. You just raise your stats even more by using V-Create. And that is why Sygna Suit Hilda probably is a lot better than Sygna Suit Red. Granted, Sygna Suit Red has a Propulsion 1 or something like that, which Sygna Suit Hilda does not have. But in terms of survivability, well, Sygna Suit Red has a much higher HP stat compared to Sygna Suit Hilda's 692 versus 832. These are 20 out of 20, by the way. Defense-wise, Sygna Suit Red has a higher defense. But then, you know, Sygna Suit Hilda's other stats are like decent enough, and her own damage is stronger enough. Just see the numbers, and that's why you kind of want to scout for Sygna Suit Hilda and say goodbye to Sygna Suit Red. But, you know, we got a lot of sync pairs coming, and we also have this coming. So, Lucas and Flareon, probably it's this one. So, these are limited units, the EV Day Celebration Triple Feature Variety Scout. Limited units. They do not have 6-star EX at the moment. I'm not sure if the game will update, you know. People are starting to complain. Why make them limited when they do not have 6-star EX? Understandable. I have that question as well. But, you know, just scout for your faves instead of the meta. And, you know, if you want to check how many gems we can get, check this out. But do you want to scout for, you know, this one? Well, they end on December 2. You can save your gems for now, you know. It's very easy to get tempted and scout for this sync pair. But if you're willing to wait a little bit, maybe that would be a good idea. I mean, who knows what December sync pairs will be. There might be a Master Fair. And when there comes a Master Fair, there's definitely going to be a 5 out of 5 grid already for the Master Fair. Starting later, we will get some new gem bundles, which give you the middle gem bundle. By the way, the gem bundles are pretty cheap. I was surprised. I think the more expensive one was $17.99, or was it $13.99? Which I was expecting double at least, but it's cheaper than expected. But that will make you pay to win, pay to play player. So if we ignore that from the equation, well, maybe with all the fire types that we have, you can save up. But, you know, if you only have Sygna Suit Red, and you do not have Sygna Suit, or rather Anniversary N, you do not have Sygna Suit May, and what other fire type? Sygna Suit Morty probably will pair up very well with her. But if you do not have a good fire type, you know, Sygna Suit Hilda will definitely be a good addition to your team roster. Sygna Suit Blue is coming out as a rerun. And, you know, I would highly advise new players, if you're playing, there's Victory Road. Instead of getting Sygna Suit Red, get Sygna Suit Blue there. I would rather save up candies and give candies to Sygna Suit Blue rather than summoning on Sygna Suit Blue when his rerun banner comes out. So, yeah. If you do not have Sygna Suit Red, maybe you can consider scouting for Sygna Suit Hilda. Or, you know, just scout for whoever you like because, again, faves over the meta. But that aside, I am ending this video there because we're running out of time. She's gonna come out. I want to take a short nap before she comes out. So, with that said, thank you to all the members of my channel. Very quick, just look at your names. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to help me out again, you can click on the join button in the description or in the link below my face and become a member of my channel. Thank you, everyone, for your support. But with that said, this is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt, Yardis Team Skull Grunt, and I will see you in the next video. Rawr.